So the circumference of my hat that I made is 22.5 inches with a 5.5 millimeter hook. And it is a little bit big on me, so if you have a smaller head like me, use a 5.0 millimeter hook. That's what I usually use. I used a 5.5 this time though. Now let's go into the tutorial so you can create your very own panda hat from the Sims 4 Nifty Knitting Pack. What we will need is a 4-weight yarn, 5.5 millimeter hook, a needle, scissors, and a stitch marker. First, we will start off with a magic loop. I have a tutorial on how to make a magic loop, and I will put it on the icon above and in the description below. We are going to chain 3. The chain 3 counts as a stitch, so this will total 12 stitches within the circle. And double crochet 11 times into the circle. We pull the tail tight to close the circle, and we will slip stitch into the 3rd chain on top of the chain that we created. Pull it tightly and chain 3 times again. We will always chain 3 times for the beginning of each row, and it will always be counted as a stitch. Next, we will double crochet into the same stitch, and then double crochet 2 times into all the other stitches, and we will end up with 24 stitches by the end of this row. Slip stitch into the 3rd chain again. Chain 3. And double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. The repeating pattern for this will be double crochet 1 time into the next stitch and double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. And we will end up with 36 stitches by the end of this row. We will slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and chain 3. Double crochet once into the next stitch and double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. The repeating pattern for this row would be double crochet once into the next 2 stitches and then double crochet 2 times in the next stitch. So there's 1 and 1 into the 2nd stitch and double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. By the end of this row, we will end up with 48 stitches. We slip stitch, chain 3, double crochet one time into the next 2 stitches, one, two, three, and double crochet into the next stitch 2 times. Double crochet 1 into the next 3 stitches, and then double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. This will be the repeating pattern. By the end of this row, we end up with 60 stitches. So we slip stitch and chain 3, double crochet 1 into the next 3 stitches, and then double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. The repeating pattern after this will be double crochet once into the next 4 stitches, and then double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. That's the repeating pattern all the way around, and we will end up with 72 stitches. Next we will slip stitch into the chain 3, chain 3, double crochet 1 time in each of the stitches for 5 more rows. So I finished already the 5 rows, and we're just going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain, pull it tightly, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. Change the color by slipping through the next color and pulling the white yarn tightly. And then we will chain 3 with the new color. And this will count as a stitch. And then we will just double crochet in all of the stitches 1 time. By the end of this row, we slip stitch together in the 3rd chain, chain 3, and this will still count as a stitch. We're going to do a back post. So I'll show you right here. We're gonna yarn over, put our hook through the back of the post, and going through the front of the other side of the post. Then we yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through again to make the double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch normally, and then we do the post. Then we double crochet normally into the loops in the next stitch. And we keep doing this all the way around. Next we will slip stitch, chain 3, and do the same thing that we did the last row. We go into the back post and double crochet into the stitch, and then do the back post and keep repeating this. As you can see right here, it's actually starting to raise more to make the ribbing. I'm going to slip stitch right here to finish off and chain 1 to secure and pull it tightly. If you want the brim to be longer and you want to fold it upwards, you just do the same thing with a few more rows as long as you like. Now we're going to do the panda's eyes. You're going to have to make 2 of these. So you do the magic circle, single crochet 6 times into the circle and pull tightly. We are going to be working in the round, so we are not going to do any slip stitching or chains. So we will just go into the next stitch and single crochet 2 times into each of the 6 stitches. And we will end up with 12 stitches by the end of this round. Next we will single crochet 1 time into the next stitch and 2 times into the next stitch, and that will be the repeating pattern all the way around. We will end up with 18 stitches. Next we will single crochet 1 time into 2 stitches and then single crochet 2 times into the next stitch, and that will be the repeating pattern all the way around. And you will end up with 24 stitches, and that's the end. So we will slip stitch and pull up a loop and cut the yarn. Now I will show you how to create the pom pom. I have a pom pom maker here by Clover, and I'm just gonna get the blue yarn and wrap it around these little arms. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, I'm going to show you in the next pom-pom how to make one with just using your hands. And then I just tie it tightly. Open the arms up, and there's the pom-pom. I just have to trim it and then it's finished. So here's how you can make a pom-pom with just your hands. Just wrap it around your hand as much as you like. And then we get a piece of yarn. and put it between the middle and slowly pull out your hand and tie a knot tightly. And do this a couple times so it's secure. And then we will cut through the loops. And that will be your pom-pom. Now I'm going to show you how to sew on the panda's eyes. I'm going to be sewing in front of these loops right here. So not through these loops. But we will be going through the loops next to it. So I just grab the surface of the double crochet and put it through the loop that's closest to me. And I just do this all the way around. So this is how the hat looks like. And I just tied a bow tie with the pom-poms so I can take it off and wash the hat on its own and the pom-poms won't get ruined. And then after this we can put in the details like the nose and the mouth. I'm going to be using this dark blue color by Loops and Threads. And that's the finished panda. You can show me your finished panda hat by showing me pictures through social media. My social media is in the description box below. Thank you for watching my tutorial.